Hey guys, Vazzy back here. In today's video, we are going to see if Canada's World Championship team from 2024 can win a Stanley Cup in franchise mode. This was actually a video that originally I did last year as well, so I decided to bring it back for NHL 24. So let's go see what team we will be substituting out for Team Canada. Alright, so let's find our random team here. I will just hold the stick down just for a couple of seconds. We will be substituting out the Columbus Blue Jackets. And just looking at the team here when it comes to overall wise, they are rated 88 overall surprisingly in game. That is one of the higher overalls currently in game. I know the Rangers are, I believe, 89 as well, so Canada is up there for one of the better rated teams in this game. But now let us go jump into franchise mode. So this is kind of what I came up with here for early lines anyway. I kind of wanted to get some of the younger guys playing together with Connor Bedard, but just wasn't really working with chemistry, unfortunately. Wanted to get a guy like Adam Fantilli up there, or Macklin Celebrini, just have the young youth line together, but fortunately it wasn't really working, so I just kind of went with what the best chemistry was, and that's kind of what the forward is looking like. And also defensively, it's not bad. Like a guy like Parayko, it's solid. They have Bowen Byram. There's no real superstar on defense, but it's just a deep, well-rounded defense. And Jordan Binnington, who actually had a very, very good season this year, with Hofer backing him up, just the St. Louis tandem, which is interesting. But yeah, not a horrible team for Team Canada here. Outside of Bedard, it's not incredible, but let's go see how they simulate in NHL 24. Alright, so let's get this simulation underway. Let's go to the end of April and we'll see if this team can make a run or if they will unfortunately fall out of a playoff run. I'm very curious. I'll say one thing about this Team Canada. You don't really have the superstar power outside of a guy like Connor Bedard. You have a lot of those guys who are just really more or less good top 6 forwards in the NHL. They're not really superstars, let's just say, like a guy like, let's just say Michael Bunting, for example. He's a good NHL player, but do you consider him a superstar? No, you probably don't. And a lot of the time that is how the World Championship tournament just works in general. You know, you're coming off a tough, long season. You probably just missed the playoffs or you're just eliminated. You're probably just not really just feeling it overall. And I do get that, and that's why a lot of the time you see the younger players play because they really haven't had a chance to represent their country as much. Like, it would be awesome if a guy like Sidney Crosby was at the IHF for Team Canada, but I get it. He's represented Canada at so many tournaments, on so many different stages, obviously the Golden Goal, stuff like that, where guys like Dylan Guenther, Adam Fantilli really haven't just had the chance to represent their country outside of the World Juniors. Or like I said, you have those top 6 really solid NHL players, but in a real best-on-best tournament, they probably won't be making those teams, unfortunately. So again, that is kind of what Team Canada is looking like this year for the most of it. It's a decent team. I don't really know what the other teams are looking like, so it's hard to predict how they're going to do in this tournament. But heading back here into the simulation as we approach the trade deadline, we are above 500. We don't have an incredible record. We're definitely not guaranteed playoffs, at least at this point. But as long as we can avoid the collapse after the trade deadline, I think we should be okay. Sitting here 36, 27, and 6. We are in a wild card spot, but we are very, very close to falling out of that spot, unfortunately. Come on, guys. We have, 2 weeks left? Not even. Just win out, get a couple of points as we lose to Tampa, beat the Panthers. It's going to come down to the wire. We beat the Hurricanes, but we do unfortunately just miss out from the playoffs, I think. I'm going to simulate a couple of days here just to make sure, but I think we may have been one of the closest teams just not making the cut for the playoff line. Let's go take a look at the team stats. We finished with a record of 40, 32, and 10. It's not bad, honestly, and yeah, we are 2 points out just behind the New Jersey Devils. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Let's go see where we finished in the overall for the league. Finished 17th. So yeah, unfortunately we just didn't deserve it. We were the next team just to miss the cut, unfortunately. Looking at just players on our team, 85 points for Bedard. I saw he grew to like an 89. That's pretty good for a first year for him. Celebrini, did he grow? No, still 79. Almost 50 points for him though is very solid. And honestly, this team didn't play all that bad. Binnington, Hofer, it was, you know, mixed results. It wasn't great. Let's go look at the overall NHL here. Georgiev, Samsonov right behind him. I'm sorry, Leafs fans. I'm literally recording this right after Game 7. Very, very heartbreaking loss there. Looking at the overall point scoring, 114 for McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman just behind him. That Oilers line just always dominates in franchise mode. Matthews does lead the league with 51 goals. Definitely a bit of a down year when it comes to goal scoring. But I think all I have to do now here is simulate to the end of the playoffs. We'll take a look at who wins the Stanley Cup and the awards, and then we will wrap up the video. So I'll meet up with you guys once the playoffs have concluded. So looking at the playoff tree, the Colorado Avalanche are your Stanley Cup champions here in this universe. And honestly, upward from the conference finals on, it's a pretty realistic playoff tree for the most part. I could easily see those 4 remaining teams being in the contention there for the Stanley Cup this year, so who knows, we will have to see. Take a look at the awards. I think all the team awards we should know here for the most part. Art Ross goes to McDavid, same with the Hart. Makar gets the James Norris, Draisaitl with the Lady Byng. Our Connor Bedard gets the Calder, love to see that. McKinnon with the Conn Smythe, Georgiev with the Vezina and the Jennings. Ferraro with the Bill Masterson. Kopitar with the Selke, McDavid with the Ted Lindsay, and Matthews with the Maurice Rocket Richard. But overall, I do think that is going to do it here for today's video, looking at putting Canada's IIHF team from this year's tournament into franchise mode. I might do this with some of the other teams, I'm not too sure just at the moment. Have a lot of content coming to the channel, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video.